Na mimi si wazimu, na mimi si mlevi, na mimi si mjinga. I know what I'm saying.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is your Jomba. On Wednesday, 22nd of July 2026, at State House during one of his many functions, President Ruto alluded to this idea, a very brilliant idea whereby Kenyan university and tertiary institution students will no longer pay school fees. And this pronouncement confused Kenyans because the person who ruined the university funding model and tertiary institutions funding model is none other than President William Ruto, Chirchir, Arap Samoei, whatever his names are. Sawa, in 2022, immediately after he took office, he came up with something called a genius idea called the university funding model, whereby his government will decide how much you are going to pay for your university education. They will make a few calculations on some system and then they will say, okay, sasa hapa wewe Mwabili Mwagodi tunaona uko na ng'ombe moja hapo, uko na mbuzi tatu hapo nje. That means you are rich, so you are going to pay the full school fees amount compared to what the government was doing with subsidizing education. This new university funding model was very discriminatory. It never cared whether you came from a poor home or a rich home. The idea was to levy full university school fees for your education. For example, medicine is one of the most expensive courses in this country. And so, like, for private institutions, so our private universities, for example, that offer medicine courses, I'm not sure how many we have in Kenya, but the ones that do, utakuta per semester, it is over 1 million Kenyan shillings. Because the resources that are required to train a medical doctor, are not your average resources that are needed, for example, to train a teacher. These people need to go into mortuaries, they need to go into hospital wards, they need to meet real patients, they need to deal with real drugs, they need to deal with dead bodies. So there's a lot that is involved in medicine. And if the government was going to make it that Kenyans pay the full school fees in public institutions for courses like medicine, immediately it ballooned for many Kenyans after President Ruto changed the university funding model after he became president in 2022, and he was cost skyrocket, and watu nakuta wanaambiwa walipe 1.5 million at University of Nairobi ili wasome medicine wakue madakitari. This has locked out hundreds of thousands of young Kenyans out of universities. Many of them are opting to go to tertiary institutions because these are slightly cheaper. Sawa. And now that ameshindwa olkalau is when in Kitaita tunasema masikio yamedoka. Masikio yameruka, kichwa kimeruka. Now he's being told, listen, mzee, Kenyans now are very angry at you. And one of the reasons why they're angry at you is SHA. The other reason is education. The other reason is agriculture. So he has started with education, as you have heard him talk about GASC or wazimu hapo. We all know tuna deal na mwenda wazimu wa hali ya juu. And I just want to listen to again him speaking on now the 23rd, on Thursday, on 23rd of July 2026, again while bunkered up in State House.
Na nataka Wakenya wanielewe. Nimesema juzi kwenda mbele. Tulitoa pale nyuma 2022. My universities walikuwa wanafunga. Hawakuweza kulipa walimu. Hawakuweza kulipa suppliers. Walikuwa hata mshahara ya wale lecturers haikuwa inatosha. Nikabadilisha, tukatengeneza model mpya. Hiyo model imebadilisha mambo katika mauniversity. Mimi nimesema sasa tunapeleka hiyo model one more step forward, na ndio nimesema iko sheria bunge saa hizi ya Higher Education Loans Board Amendment Bill ambayo sasa itatuwezesha kuhakikisha ya kwamba kila mtoto wa Kenya ambaye amekuwa placed kwa TVET ama university, tutahakikisha ya kwamba kuna funding ama kuna pesa ya kusomesha watoto wetu wote. Unajua, wakati rais wa 3 wa Kenya, Mheshimiwa Mwai Kibaki, alisema kutakuwa na free primary education, watu walimkejeli na wakasema hiyo haiwezekani. Mimi nasema mbele yenu leo ya kwamba watoto wetu wa university na wale ambao wanaenda tertiary institutions, going forward, serikali ya Kenya itakuwa na funding model ya kuhakikisha hawa watoto wote wanapata pesa ya kusoma, na hakuna mtoto wa Kenya atakosa nafasi ya kusoma kwa sababu ya mambo ya kukosa pesa.
My viewers of Mwabili Mogodi TV, it is very frustrating to have to put you through listening to 2 or 3 minutes of President Ruto speak. Please bear with me. We are looking for context. Sawa. So, immediately after President Ruto said on the 22nd, which was on Wednesday, that Kenyan students were no longer going to pay school fees. So on Thursday, anaitwa Dr. David Ndii, who is one of President Ruto's closest advisors in State House and is also turned out to be one of his biggest ass lickers. Yani, ile kazi ya kuramba Ruto yenye nani Ndii anafanya is just disgusting and pathetic, I can tell you, my viewer. But it is his job. He's paid over $1 million per month to do it. So David Ndii came up with this tweet. You can have a look at it on the screen. And he was responding to Mwango Capital, which is an informative news service, a business information news service on Twitter, by saying that President Ruto did not say where the funding is coming from. And this happens quite regularly. President Ruto goes out and says some extremely good things that he is planning to do, okay? And then normally Dr. D is the one who is sent out, especially on Twitter, to discredit what President Ruto said and to start preparing you psychologically that hii ni mchezo inachezwa, ni kupangwa kama wewe Mkenya unapangwa. You and I know, my viewer, here on Mwabili Mogodi TV, President Ruto does not have any intention to have any of these young Kenyans get any serious education in any public or private university in Kenya. He prefers it if the young Kenyans are goons. He prefers it if they are sent to Russia to fight in that Ukraine war against Russia. Huko ndio waende wakauawe huko, warudi hapa kwa masanduku. He prefers it kama Wakenya wataenda kuosha choo na mabathroom huko Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Qatar, you know, where he hides his stolen loot huku Kenya. Yeah, he does not want to see young Kenyans in Kenya get education. We know President Ruto's plan is to completely decimate this republic in each and every sector, whether it is education, whether it is healthcare, whether it is agriculture. Yani, we have to be, at the end of the day, by the time it reaches the end of 2032, because he thinks that at Africa 2032, he wants Kenyans to be able to be traded as slaves. He is a slave trader. President Ruto is a slave trader, na hiyo ndio agenda yake. So when he comes out and starts telling us sio wazimu and all this nonsense, oh, mambo ya affordable, mambo ya sijui nini, President Ruto, nothing works. This education university funding model of yours failed. The only reason why sasa hivi wewe unaongea kuhusu is because you are playing politics with it. And my view, as I end this episode today, wacha nikuchekeshe. You know what I think? You know what your Jomba thinks? I actually think that university funding is going to be turned into a PPP. public-private partnership funding kind of model, where a private investor comes in, sawa, and they pump money into all public Kenyan public universities, and then after that, wewe ukimaliza kusoma, you are tied to repaying that funding for the next 35 years or 40 years. And we all know how the PPP payments plans work. That money goes into President Ruto's private pockets together with his children. I nearly said, sorry, YouTube guidelines. Together with his children and his cronies and his cartel of thieves. Believe it or not, that is what I believe. I highly believe that the university funding model ambayo President Ruto is talking about is going to be public-private partnership. A private investor pumps in money into public universities. Alafu ukimaliza kugraduate unafungwa kwa miaka 30, 35, 40 ulipe deni. You pay that debt through your nose, and that money goes directly into President Ruto's pockets. He might be dead in the next 15 years, 20 years. His children, his grandchildren, and most likely his third generation will continue eating your money as a young Kenyan for the rest of your sorry life. This is your Jomba Mwabili Mwagodi. Continue subscribing to the channel if you are not subscribed. Please, tuendeleze conversation hapo kwa comments, like, and most importantly, share with your friends and your family around the world. If you want to help me fund the work of this channel, the number is 0799428109 on M-Pesa. Asanteni sana, sana, sana. God bless you.